when I say everybody can't go, I'm talking about people, places, and things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And old habits that can't go. That I can't see myself. I can't see myself moving the same way to go to that next level.
Welcome to a new episode, 2024. We're back with BET Talks. I'm your host, Mia Bell, and with me today, I have the best ever in New York, okay? You may know him from Griselda or as the mastermind behind the Black Sopranos, but I'm here to tell you that the gangster and the gentleman, the big dog, is here. Benny?
What you coming? I love that intro.
Do you really?
You did that.
Ooh, thank you very much.
You ate.
Come on. That's what the kids are saying, right?
Yeah, for real.
Yeah. Now listen, Benny, you have been in go mode, and I love to see it in every which way. And before we get into the new music, because of course it's coming out this month, everybody can't go, but we're here.
No, we go. We can go.
Oh yeah.
That's for them. You know what I mean?
We going. That's what we doing. But of course, I have to ask you the changes, the differences between Benny, the Tana Talk Benny, and the Benny that we're being reintroduced to now.
The main difference is, you know, the obvious. You know what I'm saying? That I grown up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I put the first Tana Talk out. Maybe I was like 19. The Tana Talk series represents moments and periods of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Very important periods. So I grown up. You know what I mean? I'm just on the bigger and better things. I'm more refined. You know what I mean? It ain't nothing like wisdom. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying this like I'm a old ass nigga. I could cuss, can I?
Of course you can.
An old motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying it like I'm that, but you know what I mean? It's like it feel good being grown and growing up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a certain type of wisdom and a certain type of experience that lay in that, and I love it. I'm enjoying that, and that's showing through the music. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you've dropped so much music throughout your career. So when I do hear terms like late bloomer being used in, you know, reference to you and the collective at that, you know, you even say in your new music that time is man-made. It's a social construct. So when you think about it now, what would you say about your career and the trajectory of it and where you are now?
Man, it's legendary. You know what I'm saying? To come from where I came from, like you say, late in my career.
Right.
Until I didn't start this ascension until I was like 32 years old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But is that even late? Like, what does late even mean these days?
And they just say in this game it's late.
Right.
This rap game is late.
Of course.
But really it's not late because a man is not really a man until, you know, when you get into your 40s. That's when that's when your children are older. That's when you become the patriarch of the family. You know what I'm saying? You doing shit like that. So, you know what I mean? Definitely. I love it. But you know what I mean? It's coming from Buffalo and coming from the Griselda Collective and being able to catch my run, you know, that means everything to me.
Of
I'm saying that means everything to me. I had to wait for it, you know what I'm saying? I had to wait my turn for this shit.
Yeah. Now, you're dropping episodes leading up to the album where you're kind of giving us, you know, feedback on where you are in your life, about the project too, what you've been through. And you say that you were almost like, I would say, almost like it may not have happened if you didn't, you know, tighten up in the space that you did. Or that's what other people were thinking when, you know, you were in and out of prison. They thought it wasn't going to happen for you. At what point was it for you a, you know, I'm going to stop and kind of be on a straight path so that I can make it happen?
Honestly, just when I realized the stakes was higher and what was on the table, you know.
But at what point? Because it was always on the table for you. Because you
I
were
would
always
say-
dropping the music.
I would say 2017. Basically. You know what I mean, I had one foot in and one foot out. And when I'm hearing Wes, he tell me out of his mouth, he's like, yo, in a few weeks, I'm about to sign this deal with Universal. You know what I'm saying? And it ended up being like even sooner than that. But when he told me that, I knew it was time to like fall back from everything that I was doing and dial in on this music shit.
Right.
I was kind of thinking like, why he didn't tell me this sooner? I would have been fell back, you know what I'm saying? But he kept everything secret. But man, around that time, man, the fall of 2018, man, I know 2017, I could say that's when everything switched for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then what about the people who are watching you, thinking that, you know, it may not happen for him because he's always in and out?
Oh, they played in my face.
Right. What to you was the point where they thought you were never going to come back from? Like, did something happen where it was like, oh yeah, this motherfucker?
Just, I always been like a person known for rapping and doing shit back home. You know what I'm saying? Always been the biggest doing this shit in the city.
Right.
One time, you know what I mean? Like the last time I came home, and I was outside, and you know people were seeing me, and everybody kept asking me, "Do I still rap?" And I'm like, "Do I still rap?" I'm like, why the fuck they asking me that? They think this shit over, huh?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, you can't fault them. You know what I mean? They wasn't seeing me make the progress they was used to seeing me make. You know what I mean? I'm in and out of jail, and they see me on the corner. That's what they see me doing. I was standing on the corner, I was hustling. And they're like, damn, like look at this nigga.
Right.
This supposed to be the nigga supposed to be getting on for the city. He on the corner hustling.
Right.
So people looked at me a different way, you know what I mean?
Yeah. But for you, it was never going to be over because music is in your blood. It's instilled in you. It's something that you've always wanted to do from the tender young age of what, 10?
Yeah, 10 years old.
Yeah. Talk to me about young Benny and just coming up in a, I know it was a lot of pain, but I do want to hear the joy that you had, finding the joy in music, finding the joy in family, and what you did experience that kind of made you want to go forth with it. The happy moments.
Man, just, you know what I mean, watching the box, you know what I mean? Remember that? Okay. Watching the box and shit, those always good memories. The songs we grew up on, just hanging out with everybody, freestyling. Fucking around with the tape recorder. We rapping over the tape recorder.
See, that I can attest to.
You
Go
know
on.
what I'm saying? we got a whole bunch of tapes and shit. And, you know, just things like that. You know what I'm saying? That was always fun to me. Because like you say, even though it was a lot of bullshit going on when we was kids, when I was that age, I really didn't realize that until I got older. Like, oh damn, we grew up fucked up. But I wasn't paying attention to none of that. Everybody used to come to my mom's house, to my house in Langfield, and my mom took the kids skating. She used to let everybody spend the night, all of our cousins and shit. And you know what I mean? Just being younger, growing up and being guided by Westside Gun and Conway and Machine Gun Black, because like I always say, they a few years older than me.
Yeah.
So they was like getting their feet wet in this shit before I was. So I always was running behind them. But you know, life was good, but it always took the path towards music. My pops was a DJ.
Wow.
You know
what was his DJ name?
Master JP.
Wow.
Master JP, you know what I'm saying?
So it was floating all around you in every which way. Now, of course, with the loss of your heart, your brother, Machine Gun Black, rest in peace.
Yeah.
When you were in the process of making this project, Everybody Can't Go, how did he speak to you?
Man, he definitely did. It's like, let me know he was watching me.
And what ways? Were there any like sort of mystical things that you were like, ooh, I know that shit right there?
Because it's like this. I'm used to having my brother with me every step of the way.
Right.
You know what I mean? I lost him when I was 22 years old. Maybe. I lost him when I was 21. And it's almost about to be 20-something years and it don't feel like it. It feel like yesterday. But when I do feel him, I just could feel his energy around me. And I could just feel him encouraging me. So when I was making an album, I did feel him like, you know, like, look at you, like you doing this shit.
Yeah.
Go crazy, go further. You wanted this shit, now you got it. You can do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I do think about him, I just think about like, he looking at me, he watching me do this shit, kill these niggas, cheering me on, and you know what I mean? I do it for him and for the whole family.
Yeah, of course. And even hearing you say that, I feel like you're also getting the support from everyone else in this space in that same light where they're just so excited to see you win and so excited to hear you bring this sound to the forefront in such a major way, you know? Now, you were signed to Def Jam in 2021. That was a big deal, right?
Sure.
So between that time and now, how long did it take you to put this project together?
I would say it took me a couple months. But I didn't directly start working on the album. I was
months?
chilling.
I thought you were gonna say longer.
You did? It's been a while since, cause like when I first signed the deal, I didn't go in and lock in.
Right.
I didn't want to. I didn't want to like rush it. I wanted this to be a drawn out thing. You know what I'm saying? That's how I wanted it. I was just enjoying the shit, enjoying the process of making an album, getting in the lab, and really, I feel like Hit Boy was gonna do the whole album. And then I'm like, I need to bring Alchemist in on that. And then I like start setting up sessions with Al. So I took my time on this shit, man. And you know what I mean? You know, when you hold something the longest, you get to change it, you get to refine it, you get to, you know what I'm saying, make it what you want it to make.
Right.
So I just feel like I just held on to it just to make it refined as I could make it.
Yeah. I want you to speak on that space you were in, because I feel like a lot of times when people get this major situation or a huge, you know, deal, they feel like they got to start right away and they got something to prove. And the space that you're in, you already proved it.
Right.
That's what I get.
Right. No, that's a fact, and that's a blessing to be in that situation. But that's exactly how I feel. It's like there's no rush to do nothing. Sit back, enjoy yourself, take a vacation, smoke some gas. You know what I'm saying? Go shopping, get your mind right. You know what I mean? Get around a good energy, and that's what I did. You know what I mean? And for people who feel that they gotta rush, you know, that's their story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't speak on that, but.
And you know what that feels like too, though.
Yeah.
Because you've been there.
But I don't want to rush nothing, though, man. I be seeing niggas who be rushing their shit, and I wonder why. You know, this shit not going nowhere. Well, I believe it ain't going nowhere. I'm a rap till I'm 70 years old.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about none of that. I'm gonna be one of them dudes forever in the game. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I might not tour. I might not be doing features with everybody, but I'm gonna keep doing it as long as I can.
Right. Because you're always going to have a story to tell.
Yeah, your brain is like a muscle. It just gets stronger and stronger. You know what I'm saying? And if you could use that, you could put some lyrics on paper.
Yeah. Now, you already mentioned Hit Boy and Al, of course, collabing on this project. The sound is beautiful. I done listened front to back a few times.
Fire.
Everybody Can't Go. Where did we get the title from? And who not coming? Actually, who's not coming doesn't even matter. Who's coming with us? Who's going?
No, I'm happy you said that, man, because it's about who's coming.
Right.
When people hear Everybody Can't Go, they do focus on who's not coming. But
Right.
it's about,
And they get in their feelings about that.
it's about, man, because you know what they say, a hit dog gonna holler. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's about who's going. And I got to that title because that's what I'm going through in my life.
Right.
Man, I'm at the point where, you know, man, I've been doing this at a certain level for a while, and people seeing me achieve things, and they wonder where they stand in that, and they wonder what they get out of that.
Right.
Like you could hit the lottery for $100 million, right? And your loved ones, your closest people, gonna be looking at you. Before they even thanking you, they think about what does that mean for them. I'm saying, okay, she got that, but how I'm going to get that right here.
Right.
So it's like a lot of times you got to be selfish too. You know what I mean? You got to be selfish too. And that's all it is. I'm being selfish so I can take the next leap.
When did you learn to be selfish with yourself and with where you're going? Was it the deal?
I'm constantly learning. I didn't fully learn all the way. That's why I named the album Everybody Can't Go, because I'm psyching myself up, you know what I'm saying, to go through this process, because it's happening in real time. But
And it's not easy, right?
I'm still learning, because there's some people who on this shit who wasn't on the shit when we started. And there's some people who on this motherfucker who ain't gonna be on there when it's finished.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's still some people, disguised as people who can go. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still learning, you know what I mean? But I gotta be selfish with my time. It's about me and my family, and it's about what the fuck I wanna do. I'm sick of catering to everybody.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you have to explain that to others? Or do you kind of just move about your business?
I do feel like, and that's crazy that somebody gotta explain that.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if I see somebody with something, I want them to enjoy it. Only a person who don't like, when somebody see you with something and they only want to take your joy from you, or they only want to act like it's theirs, only because they fear they can't get their own. You feel what I'm saying? Get your own.
Right.
Go get yours. This mine. It's more over there. You know what I'm saying? But they don't want to put in that work, so they try to live through you. But man, these niggas better learn to be selfish. You know what I'm saying? And like I always say, when I say everybody can't go, I'm talking about people, places, and things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And old habits that can't go. That I can't see myself. I can't see myself moving the same way to go to that next level.
Of course. Are you in therapy, by the way? Are you learning all of this in therapy and like guiding yourself through this
I
with
need therapy bad.
So you're not? Yes, you have to.
I need therapy.
I mean, you're on a great trajectory with where you're at.
Do I seem fucked up like I need therapy?
No, but I just feel like everybody can benefit from it.
Do I seem stressed out?
No, not at all, actually. I actually thought you were in therapy because of all this knowledge that you're spitting and the realization that it's not easy to tell everybody that they can't go. And of course, you got to learn how to move in that space because you want to bring certain people with you, but they may not be ready.
You actually set the table to bring them with you.
Yeah.
You put plates down where the seats were.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? It's just, man, it's hard to describe it. Man, life be lifing. And it's so crazy when you be in a good situation, when you at your highest.
Right.
Sometimes you could feel your lowest. That's why you got to be selfish because, this is what I tell my daughter, right? My daughter, she live with her mom.
How old is she?
She 18.
Okay.
She live with her mom in Buffalo. And, she could be living with me. But, certain people make her feel guilty. You know what I'm saying? And I had to tell her, like, everybody's situation ain't your situation. She might be around her friends, and her friends probably don't have what she have. She might be around her cousins, and they don't have what she have. And I tell her, like, I know you feel bad. That's survivor's remorse. You know what I'm saying? I had that, but that's not your situation. Don't be fooled into that's being your situation. Like, you can come stay with me. Big house, big crib, do what you want, come work for me. You know what I mean? But I understand her not wanting to leave her friends and nothing like that. But I tell her, like, no, you got to be selfish.
Yeah.
Everybody can't go.
And that's where the therapy helps, though, because it helps you cope with that and growing in that space. Because it's not easy, especially, where you come from.
Yeah.
And that being the surrounding, it never leaves, but you have to be okay with leaving it.
For sure.
So, yeah, we're going to find you a therapist after this. But I think you're on a great, great run.
I appreciate you.
Of course. Now, more about the project.
Yeah.
Before we get into the features, I do want to know who out of your peers have given you some really good advice to, keep moving in this space and with the energy that you have right now. Because you going and running. Like, this is yours right now.
Man, I could say a few dudes, but as of late, man, I keep speaking on it, man. Cole.
Okay.
Man, Cole been giving me some advice I could use. And Snoop, I was just kicking with him the other day. Both of those guys. I'm always getting game from, and just watching West Side Gun. You know what I'm saying? It ain't too much that he got to tell me. Just watching him, you know what I'm saying, inspired me every time. But, man, definitely Cole, man. He been, even from the beginning of, before I even recorded a track for the album, I tapped in with him and just letting him know the direction I'm going in. He let me know the mindset I should have going in and shit. So I appreciate the guys.
Of course. Now you're trying new sounds out on the project. First I want to talk about Snoop. Back again. You are bringing gangsta back to music, but in a different way. I feel like it's been a minute since we've heard real G's talk, and you kind of got all of the G's in their bag. Lil Wayne, he's talking that talk. Snoop is talking that talk. Of course, your family, they always talking that talk.
100%.
Yeah, and just to hear it in the forefront. You've got Jadakiss in there, really, doing what he does best. Everybody. Now, why is it important for you to kind of bring us back to that essence of real G's who respect women, one, children, of course, gentlemen always.
Yeah.
But why is that important for you to bring it back to the music?
Because a greater integrity come with that kind of music. You know what I'm saying? Of a street nigga.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We not knocking nobody else, but this type of music, it speaks for us and it speaks for volumes of people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit that that people put out, it don't speak for us. You know what I mean? And people be looking for the shit. That's why they so hungry for it. That's why everybody can't go so anticipated like it is. But I've been saying this too. It's like everybody got their own lane of rap. It's nerd rap. It's horror rap. It's motherfucking it's all type of shit. It's emo rap.
Yeah.
So and it's like this art here, it almost got lost in the middle of it, you know what I'm saying? But this is important to us, and it's important for the people who listen to it, the hustler music, the street shit. So, you know what I mean? It's only right that we bring this shit back in a great fashion, how we doing it. This is nothing but the Griselda flavor, Benny the Butcher underground shit with Def Jam.
Yeah. Yeah. You describe yourself as the Omar of the game. For those who don't know who Omar is, give us a picture.
Just like they say Omar coming from The Wire. Omar coming, niggas tighten up. That's what they do when I drop.
Yeah.
When I drop, not real shit.
It's the truth.
It's
Come
like
on, talk about it.
The people who should be supporting me and championing me on, A lot of them don't, because around this time, you know, they sitting back, they watching like how his shit gonna sound.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like what his first week numbers gonna be. But niggas know we don't base our shit off no first week numbers. We base our shit off the impact and how I feel in the streets, and they know that. But they sitting back, looking and watching because you know they tense up right now.
Yeah.
They know the competition is in full force right now. You know what I'm saying? You know, a nigga like me, I do it with a smile on my face. I don't come in all aggressive. I do it with a smile on my face, shaking niggas' hands like, y'all know I'm here to clean y'all up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And niggas know that, so, and I feel it because I'm me. I'm Benny the Butcher. Every time I drop, like, it always be like a weird energy with some of these niggas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because you're truly bringing back what I personally feel hip-hop lacks in a major way. And there's so many ears on it. Like you said, people are waiting. And I'm so glad that I was able to hear it, you know, in advance. Yeah, I gotta say that. And I also would like to say that I love the way that you bring new artists into the mix too. Because you put me on to Kyle Banks. I wasn't familiar until the project. Of course,
boy Kyle,
Armani Caesar's on there as well. We got Peasy on the project too. What does it mean to you to kind of bring people along on your journey, especially where you are now, because you don't have to?
Because like, all the dopest niggas I know is in my backyard is a phone call away. You know what I'm saying? And I pick the phone up and I call them. Like me and Armani, like we could do that shit, just me and her. Me and Rick Hyde, or you know what I'm saying, me and Stove God, we could do that shit with just me and them niggas. I don't gotta I love working with other artists, but I could really just sit back and work in-house and still make the dopest shit. You know what I mean?
Now, I always get surprised whenever I'm listening to a certain artist and I see you on a feature. I'm like, I wonder what he did on here. Nasty C, who is also on your label, South African artist. I was so shocked to see you on his project, and of course it was beautiful. Leon Thomas, shouts to Daisy, my intern. She found out about you through Leon's album. And just the versatility that you're able to bring to the forefront. How do you want to move forward with that in this space of music? And what else do you want to tap into musically, sonically?
I'm gonna continue to be versatile with this shit. It's like I said, it's all different kinds of genres of hip hop. You know what I mean? So it's like we bring in, like, Leon Thomas brought me to his world, Nasty C brought me to his world, and you can see I got Babyface Ray on the album.
Yes,
I'm saying, and not on a traditional track how he usually be on. So it's like, it's when we share our worlds, you know what I'm saying? Shit come out dope. But you know, I'm definitely gonna be making some R&B shit for the ladies next album.
Yes, that's what I was waiting for.
I'm on my R&B shit for sure.
I love it. Now, the last message that you want everybody to pick up, everyone that can go, what's the message that you want them to pick up from this project?
Everybody that can go, which camera I'm looking at? Because I want to look at the niggas that can't go.
Show me.
Everybody that can go, I want y'all to get ready, man. You know what I'm saying? Pack your bags, man. We out. You know what I'm saying? For a whole bunch of legendary shit, and it's still gonna be hard. We still gonna be grinding, but bring something to the table. That's how you punch your ticket. That's how you keep it punched. Bring something to the table that's gonna help move this thing forward. That's all it is, man. We all grown and we all hustling. And if you got the ability to wake up in the morning, you got the ability to hustle. Let's get it. Don't stand around watching niggas get money. You stupid. You know what I'm saying? Get some money. It ain't even all about money. Create some opportunities for yourself and for everybody around you. You know what I'm saying? It's 2024. Don't do that bullshit. Everybody cannot go.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody cannot go, but I can tell you who's going. Mia Bell and Benny the Butcher.
Oh, we out of here.
Let's go.